you ever felt like no matter how hard you try or how right you do things, nothing seems to move forward, as if your financial life is stuck, even with all your effort, experience, and the long road you've already traveled? A lot of people think that's just bad luck, or that it's too late to change, but what few realize is that many times the blockage isn't out there. It starts right inside our own home, more specifically, in the bedroom. The bedroom is where we rest, dream, and store memories. But it can also be a place where energy gets stuck and silently holds us back. That old item you keep out of sentimentality, or that broken thing forgotten in a corner. Many of these objects carry stories, emotions, and even pain from other times, and each one of them might be quietly contributing day by day to slowing down your prosperity. In this video, you'll discover 9 common objects that block abundance in your bedroom, things that seem harmless but affect your energy more than you might think. We'll explain how each one impacts your financial life and, more importantly, what to do about them. And at the end, I'll also share simple and effective rituals to renew the energy in your space and attract more peace, lightness, and prosperity, even if you've never done anything like this before, because it's never too late to make peace with what surrounds us and create space for what truly matters. If this message touched something inside you, write in the comments, "I release everything that blocks my abundance." It might seem simple, but affirming this with intention is already a powerful step. When we write something, we give form to what we desire. And by declaring that you release what blocks your prosperity, you begin to create a new space, mentally and energetically, for abundance to come in. That phrase is more than a comment. It's a decision. And every conscious decision brings us closer to the life we truly want to live. Even after 50, there's still so much to conquer, so much to transform. And it all starts with small actions like this one. Write it in the comments. Take that first step. Imagine waking up every day in the same place, surrounded by the same objects, with the same wall colors, the same scents in the air. Nothing seems out of place, yet nothing in your life seems to change. And that silent question lingers. Why, even with all this effort, does life feel stuck? The bedroom is where you start and end your day. It's the first scene your eyes take in when you wake and the last they register before sleep. Psychology calls this visual anchors, stimuli that influence our emotions and thoughts without us even noticing. In other words, everything you see when you open your eyes can set the tone for your day. Everything around you as you fall asleep shapes your emotional state during sleep. Now stop and think. What does your bedroom say about you? Does it represent the life you want to build, or the life you've left behind? This is where one of the biggest prosperity blockages comes in, one most people don't even know about: the emotional energy of the objects we keep. Every item in your bedroom, every piece of clothing, picture, souvenir, or piece of furniture carries a vibration, and yes, it affects your mind on a much deeper level than you think. Objects tied to loss, hurt, frustration, or hard times act as negative emotional anchors. They're part of what psychology refers to as the mnemic field, a kind of invisible memory that gets triggered every time that object enters your visual field. Even if you don't notice it, your mind does. Your body feels it, and your energy freezes. What's even more surprising is that these blockages are often not obvious. Sometimes they're hidden in objects we keep with affection. An old piece of clothing from someone who passed, a gift from a relationship that ended badly, a piece of furniture inherited during a hard time. We keep them with love, but also with pain, and this directly impacts the flow of our prosperity. Little by little, without noticing, we create an environment that feels more like a museum of old emotions than a space for rest and renewal. And because the bedroom is where your body rests and your mind resets, that accumulated emotional load starts affecting your decisions, your relationships, and most of all, your finances. The mind needs clarity to thrive, but clarity can't exist where there's clutter. That's why, when you look around your bedroom, you need to ask yourself, does this lift me up or weigh me down? Neuroscience studies have shown that lighter, organized, and energetically clean spaces increase the production of serotonin and dopamine, neurotransmitters directly tied to well-being, creativity, and motivation. What's more, people who sleep in clean, pleasant environments have deeper sleep, fewer negative thoughts, and wake up more energized to take action. This isn't about decoration or luxury. It's about emotional energy. It's about how your space speaks to your inner state. If your bedroom today doesn't reflect the life you want, it's very likely that it's reflecting the life you've already outgrown, but haven't let go of yet. And that's where many blockages begin. But here's the good news. You don't need a renovation. You don't need to spend money. You just need to know what to eliminate, what to transform, and what to add. And that's exactly what we're about to reveal. The 9 objects that block abundance the most, and how to deal with each one. Stay with me, because the next part could transform not only your bedroom, but the way you relate to what you have and to the life you want to live. Margaret was 63 when she realized her life had come to a halt. It was a rainy Tuesday, one of those days when the weather feels like it's mirroring what's going on inside you. She looked out the window of her bedroom, which barely lit up the old furniture, the heavy curtains, the aged mirror she hadn't dared face in years, and felt a nameless sadness. She had raised her children, worked her whole life, done everything right. But now, every day felt the same. Nothing new was happening. Her finances were always on edge, and no matter how much she cut back, nothing changed. She wondered, is this it? Is this the end of the road? But something inside her, maybe an old memory, maybe a forgotten desire, whispered no, that there was still something left to live. And on that same day, almost by chance, she walked into a small store downtown, guided only by the need to get out of the rain. A different kind of store. It smelled like incense and wood. There were crystals, books, and strange objects scattered across crooked shelves. Inside, an elderly woman with white hair and deeply calm eyes greeted her with a smile that seemed to know more than it said. "Your bedroom feels heavy, doesn't it?" she asked, as if she had read Margaret's soul. Margaret froze. How did that woman know? The old woman then handed her a piece of paper with 9 handwritten items, and said only, "Remove whatever no longer speaks to the woman you are today, and watch what happens." Margaret left the store clutching the list in her hand. When she got home, she went straight to the bedroom. She took a deep breath and looked around as if seeing everything for the first time. The cracked vanity mirror, the bedspread from an old relationship, the dusty books on economics. They all seemed to carry the weight of stories that no longer represented her. She began the clearing, item by item, with care and intention, and with every object that left, she felt something within her begin to release as well, as if, for the first time in years, she was making room for something new. The most amazing part? 3 weeks later, Margaret received an unexpected offer. An old contact had recommended her for a financial mentoring project for older women. It was meaningful, fulfilling, and well-paid work. Something she had never even considered. She would later say, "I didn't move to a new city. I didn't win the lottery. I just changed my bedroom." And everything changed. That's the power of a clean space, one aligned with who you want to become, not with who you used to be. And now you'll find out exactly which 9 objects Margaret got rid of, the same ones that may be blocking your abundance too. Margaret had no idea how much was wrong in silence. When she started looking at her bedroom items with fresh eyes, it was as if each piece started telling a story, not of the life she wanted to live, but of the pain she should have left behind. And maybe the same thing is happening to you. Over the years, we accumulate objects as if they're part of us. We hold on to them out of love, for memories, out of fear, or just out of habit. But we rarely ask ourselves, does this object still speak to who I am today? Or worse, to who I want to become from now on? The truth is, everything around us influences how we feel, what we think, and even the decisions we make without realizing it. The human brain is highly sensitive to symbols, even the subtlest ones. A picture, a mirror, a piece of clothing, all of them act like invisible portals to memories, beliefs, and sensations. And that's exactly why certain objects, even when still, are draining your energy every single day. Up next, you'll discover the 9 biggest villains of silent prosperity. Objects that block, sabotage, and keep you stuck in cycles you could have already broken. But pay close attention. This isn't just a simple list. Each group of objects represents a different layer of your energy. And understanding that could be the turning point you've been waiting for. They directly affect how you see yourself and how you show up in the world. Cracked mirrors. The mirror is a symbol of identity. When it's cracked, your reflection also becomes fragmented. This weakens your sense of self-worth, affects your self-esteem, and creates a vibration of mental disarray. The crack in the glass becomes a crack your mind projects onto yourself. Replace or remove it immediately. Photos with negative emotions. Every image carries an embedded emotion. Photos from hard times of people who hurt you or from dark phases of your life hold onto that energy. The emotional mind doesn't distinguish past from present. If the image still hurts, it's still affecting you. Look at each photo and ask yourself, does this still uplift me? Clothes from past relationships. Clothing has memory. It absorbs touch, scents, sensations. Keeping items tied to people or relationships that are no longer part of your life energetically reactivates that bond, and it blocks space for the new. If you want to open space for new connections, emotional or even financial, start with your closet. These first three items speak to your inner self. But what comes next works on an even subtler level, your vital energy. They act without you noticing, draining your drive, clarity, and decision-making power. Old furniture without meaning. An inherited piece of furniture can be a blessing or a trap. If it carries memories of struggle, pain, or scarcity, it's vibrating that energy into your room every single day. Large objects like wardrobes and armchairs have strong symbolic weight. Look at them and ask, does this piece support my story or hold back my growth? Broken objects, a lamp that doesn't light up, a radio that only crackles, a clock that stopped ticking. These items tell your mind that things are incomplete, stuck, forgotten, and that builds an energetic field of procrastination, delay, and low vibration. What's broken must be fixed or removed. Gifts that were never used. Keeping a gift out of guilt or politeness is one of the biggest emotional mistakes we make. Every gift comes with an intention, and if you're not using it, it's because its energy doesn't belong to you. It takes up emotional and physical space. Releasing these objects is freeing yourself from the need to please. And if you think you've already seen it all, the next three are the true emotional vaults of your room. And the last one may have been sabotaging your prosperity for decades. These objects hold frozen time and block the flow of renewal. Dusty boxes, forgotten boxes closed for years, store more than things. They store decisions left unmade, dreams postponed, stories left unfinished. Keeping a box locked is like keeping part of your life frozen. Opening, reviewing, and deciding what to do with these memories is an act of reconnecting with the present. Old documents, old paperwork is a mental trap. It gives the impression that you need to keep everything, control everything, review everything. It feeds the fear of letting go, of trusting, of moving forward. Keep only what's essential. The rest should be released with the intention of creating lightness. Objects with ambiguous emotional ties. The most dangerous of all, a ring inherited from someone who hurt you. A letter that brings nostalgia and guilt at the same time. These objects generate emotional ambivalence, and ambivalence is one of the biggest blockages to prosperity. If it isn't 100% light, it's shadow in disguise. Now think, how many of these objects are with you right now? How many do you silently allow to keep blocking your energy? Margaret got rid of them all, and you can too. But there's an even more important step: activating the new space that will be created. And that's what we're going to do in the next few minutes. But first, it's time to seal this cycle with an affirmation that will reprogram your abundance field. Take a deep breath for a moment. If you've come this far, it's because something inside you already knows. A new cycle is ready to begin. And often, the first step isn't doing more. It's letting go of what no longer serves you. Now write in the comments, and write it with real intention. I transform my bedroom into a magnet for abundance. It's not just a phrase, it's a reprogramming. By writing it, you're sending a new message to your mind and to your home's energy. You're saying, with conviction, I choose lightness. I make room for the new. I allow the flow of life to move again. This affirmation goes far beyond words. It activates an inner commitment, and the more people repeat it here, the stronger that energy becomes. You become part of a current, a field of silent yet powerful transformation. Because after 50, time is no longer wasted. It is sacred, and every choice carries deep impact. So, comment now. I transform my bedroom into a magnet for abundance, and feel the first shift of change begin from the inside out. After the emotional dust settles, when the objects that blocked your energy have been removed, a curious feeling appears: lightness, mixed with a certain emptiness. And here's an important point that few people notice. The human mind doesn't deal well with blank spaces. When we remove something, the natural impulse is to fill it. The brain looks for symbols that represent safety, comfort, continuity. That's why, if you don't fill this new space consciously, it will be filled, but not always with what you want. This is the moment, right here, when you plant the seeds of your next phase. The energy of abundance isn't just about the absence of blocks. It needs symbolic presence, elements that communicate to your mind, your body, and the universe. This is a place ready to receive. Below are 3 simple yet deeply symbolic elements that transform your bedroom into a field of renewal and attraction. Rosemary, the code of protection and clarity. Rosemary has been used since ancient times to clear the mind and protect the soul. But what few people know is that it also acts as a subtle emotional regulator. The scent of rosemary, fresh or dried, activates brain regions linked to memory, focus, and emotional stability. By placing a small sprig of rosemary in your bedroom, you're not just decorating. You're saying, without words, I protect myself from what no longer serves me, and I invite clarity to walk with me. To enhance its effect, place it near your bed's headboard or next to a white candle. Every time you see it, your nervous system creates a positive anchor, associating that corner with peace and presence. A coin with purpose, the silent symbol of abundance. The coin's value doesn't matter. What matters is the meaning you give it. When you choose a coin, whether it's one you've had for years or one from a special place and turn it into a symbol, you're teaching your mind that value isn't just about spending. Value is also what you honor. Create a small prosperity altar, a small box lined with light fabric. Inside it, place the coin along with a piece of paper on which you write a clear intention, such as, "May the paths of abundance open with ease and consistency." Every time you open that box, even for just a few seconds, your emotional mind aligns with that intention. This is called positive symbolic anchoring, and it works, even if you don't understand how. A glass of water, the daily ritual of purification. This might be the simplest and the most powerful. Water has memory. It records and conducts energy. By placing a glass of water next to your bed, you're creating a field of absorption during sleep, the moment when your unconscious is most active. Each morning, when you pour that water out, preferably down the sink, with the intention of release, you're letting go of what you no longer need to carry. It's a small gesture, but it communicates something deep to your psyche. I cleanse. I begin again. And with that, you start a daily cycle of purification, physical, energetic, and emotional. These three elements, rosemary, coin, and water, act as silent guardians of your new energy field. And the most beautiful thing is that they don't shout, don't demand. They simply are, vibrating the reality you have chosen to live. Because in the end, transforming your bedroom is just the beginning. The real space you are clearing is inside yourself. And what you place there now says everything about what's to come. In the next section, you will learn a special activation ritual, a practical, symbolic, and deeply transformative step-by-step process to solidify this new phase with intention, clarity, and inner strength. You've made it this far because something inside you wants more than just external changes. You want to feel that you are in control, that you can start over, that yes, it's possible to rebuild even after everything you've been through, after all you've carried. And that's why this moment matters so much. The ritual you're about to learn is more than just a sequence of actions. It's a symbolic code. And as we've seen, symbols are the oldest language of the mind, long before words. We learn through gestures, through scent, through temperature, through intention. That's why this ritual works on multiple levels: emotional, physical, energetic, and psychological. It marks the turning point, the moment when the bedroom stops being just a room and becomes a temple, your temple. Set aside a moment just for yourself. No rush. Turn off your phone. Dim the lights. This is not a ritual to do casually. It requires presence. And you'll notice that as you go through each step, something inside you begins to quiet down, as if, finally, your energy and your space begin to speak the same language. Step 1. Clearing the room's memory. In a bowl or a small bucket, mix half a liter of warm water, 1 tablespoon of coarse salt, 1 tablespoon of white vinegar. These simple ingredients form a powerful energy cleansing trio. Salt removes heavy energy. Vinegar dissipates stagnation. And water washes away what no longer belongs. Take a clean cloth, dip it in the mixture, and wipe the corners of the room, doorknobs, around the bed, and especially behind the door, areas where energy tends to accumulate. As you do this, say calmly and with intention, I release everything that no longer serves me. Don't just repeat the words, feel them. See, with your mind's eye, memories leaving with the water. Watch the old slip away like a film peeling off your story. Step 2. Incense, sealing the new energy field. Light some incense. Rosemary, lavender, or sandalwood are ideal. These scents soothe the nervous system, and the brain associates them with feelings of freshness, protection, and comfort. Walk slowly through the room with the incense in hand, making circular movements, always clockwise. Start at the door and complete the circle until you return to where you began. As you do this, imagine a light mist filling the space, a mist that doesn't hide. It reveals, it reorganizes, it protects. And say, in a clear and gentle voice, this room now vibrates in abundance, clarity, and peace. This is the moment you seal the new energetic frequency of the space. Your mind records this gesture as a milestone, and your body follows. Step 3. The guardian water of sleep. Take a glass of clean water and place it beside your bed. This water is symbolic. During the night, it will act as an energy absorber, capturing what your body and mind no longer need to carry. Before sleeping, place both hands near the glass without touching it, and visualize, during this night, everything that holds me back will be dissolved with love. Then go to sleep knowing you're no longer alone in this process. Your room is now working with you, not against you. In the morning, pour the water down the sink or into the earth, visualizing that you're discarding what no longer serves you. Step 4. The final declaration. Before closing the ritual, sit for a moment, breathe, and repeat from the heart. I reconnect with who I am. I make space for what I deserve. I choose to prosper in peace. You can say it aloud or simply feel it internally. The intention is what matters, because with this final step, you are completing the circle, and your mind registers. Something new started here. Remember, transformation begins in the invisible, in small gestures, in choosing to view your space as a mirror of your soul. In the next and final section, we'll close this journey with a heartfelt recap and an invitation to keep this energy alive. Take a deep breath. Look around. The room is still the same, but something has shifted, and you can feel it, because this transformation isn't just external. It's silent, intimate, and it begins from within. Today, you didn't just discover 9 objects that were blocking your prosperity. You faced what was hidden in plain sight: old memories, accumulated emotions, cycles repeating in silence, And more than that, you took action. You cleansed, replaced, activated. You transformed the space that so many overlook, the place where your dreams rest, the place where you wake up to life. And maybe this was the first major choice you've made for yourself in a long time. Now, I want to invite you to keep this energy alive, not just in your bedroom, but in every corner of your daily life. Comment below. I care for my space, and my space cares for me. This phrase is a reminder, a commitment, a way of telling the universe and yourself that this change is real. If this video touched you in any way, share it with someone who needs it. Sometimes a small gesture like this can spark major transformations in someone else's life. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, now is the time. We have so much more content like this, deep, practical, and made especially for those who have lived a lot, but haven't given up on living with purpose. Because the truth is simple. If you don't act now, the old returns. The pattern repeats. The cycle closes. But if you stay on this path, what's coming will be light, new, and truly yours.